distractions. Ignore the distractions. And sometimes that is so hard to do, right? That is so hard to do. We need to ignore the distractions. So people will come in your life and they might tell you, no, you can't do it. Or you're not good enough. You're not qualified enough. You don't have the skill. Who do you think you are? Where did you come from? All of these things people might say. Or they might, like, you might be like Nehemiah on the wall and they're telling you, oh, come down and come and do this. And you're like, no, I have a mission to do. I'm building the wall, right? I have something to do. I have a purpose. I'm completing and completing this mission thing that I need to do. So no, I cannot be distracted. And sometimes you have to kind of like be tunnel vision, right? Tunnel vision where you know that, hey, you're on a track and you have to get these things done. Which could be kind of like good in some places and kind of like really off in some places because so I drive and so one of my sisters, I think we were driving opposite directions and she saw me on the road and I obviously didn't see her. And so they would laugh at me and say, girl, when you're driving on the road, you don't even look and you don't even see us. You don't see anyone. Your head is just straight ahead and you're just focusing on the road and on the drive. And that's, guess what? I said, like, sometimes that is how you have to be with your goals. That is how you have to be with your purpose. You have to just be direct, head forward, ignoring the distractions because they will come from family, they'll come from friends, they'll come from off the job, they'll come from all sorts of people and things just scared to get you off course. But if you know what your purpose is, you'll fulfill it and still be able to manage everything else. So that
And
was
that is
point
so
number two.
true.
Yeah.
Distractions, I always say distractions, and I look at it, from my point of view, they were a roadblock to my purpose. Because
Mm,
once, like you said, if you lose focus and you start listening at the chatter around you, you will
mm-hmm.
start to think, and sometimes we are our biggest distractions. And
Mm-hmm.
I can look at myself and be like, okay, I'm the one probably that held myself back more so than anybody. We talked about, you shared a little bit about, some of the things that you went through, just you didn't go in, but abuse, like, when we think about the trauma we may have suffered, our past we may have suffered. And then that voice in our head, that's the enemy. Well, you're not worthy. I mean, how do you, like you said, who do you think you are?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't go to school for this. But you know what? The power of the Most High God, He gives us the ability. He gives us the strength to fulfill our purpose. So, you were so true when you said that, those distractions. But I just want to say, I know for me, I probably was my biggest enemy. I
Mm.
had so many people saying, you can do this, you can do that. And no, I'm not worthy. No, He didn't call me to do that. So we want you to know that you are worthy. And once you know your purpose, don't sit on it. So I just wanted to interject that there.
Definitely, definitely. Whatever it is that, we're having that desire and that dream and know that, hey, this is a part of what God is asking you to use your talents to, fulfill this mission of why you're here on earth, you can do it. If you need to find the way to make it happen, then that's a part of the process, the part of the journey, but you can definitely do it. So one of the third point I'd like to make is in helping you to unleash the power in your purpose would be to create a team. And this is something that has really worked for me personally, and of course for us in our platform as well, and that's creating a team. And when you have that team, you have that network of support and people who have caught the vision and who have who are there and they are just a part of pushing and making sure it happens. But first of all, you are strong and you know what your purpose is, so you have that and you've shared that with others and they have bought into that vision as well. But know that, hey, ultimately, even if people don't get it, you still have to know what your purpose is. You have to know that, hey, this was meant for me. God gave me the vision. He didn't give it to anybody else. So when they fall off, I still need to be able to keep it going. So create a team, build a community, because with that community, with that team, you can go further. Okay, so it might seem as if you're slowed down, but you can definitely go further with a team. You would be able to impact more people with a team. And I know that that is definitely something that worked for me personally, being able to create that community. And that's something that I have done, like even with our Unique Couples Marriage Club. I've done that with creating a community of ladies where we can just be ourselves. So even with creating those communities, it was creating the community that not only that I needed, but creating the community that other people needed and wanted the had the same purpose or wanted to be held accountable. So when you have a purpose, you need to be able to find the support. And one of the support is actually building your team. So the team is going to help you make the vision a reality. And then, of course, number four would be get mentorship. These two are kind of tied in. So you have your team, you have the people who are helping you do the groundwork, making sure it happens, but then you also need to make sure that you are being mentored, that you are being fed it, because with your team, you are giving because you're supporting them. They're supporting you and then you're pouring into them. Now with mentorship, you are being poured into. And that's also a community. So I have a community of people I support, and then I have a community that supports me and people who are pouring into me. And so with that mentorship you get, whether it's, through networking with people who are aligned with your purpose, and just know that, hey, however you get that, or know that you need it and that help is always available. So if you have to invest in that mentorship, be prepared to access it and pay for it because it will definitely pay off. Yes. So that was number three, I said, and then number four, right? Number four is get the mentorship because help is always available. Help is always available. Definitely be prepared to access it and pay for it. And those are some of the things that definitely helped me to unleash the power in my purpose because knowing what I wanted to do and knowing what we wanted to do, if I'm talking about my husband and I as it relates to unique couples, um, just doing these things kind of like crystallize that for us. Okay. And then of course the fifth point, which we can't ever do without, as much as we would think that we could and may try to, we still come back to this. And I'm talking about us personally as well, and even with our platform, and that is pray and trust the process. Pray and trust the process because sometimes it could be so hard. Like, God, really? Like, this is so hard. Like, the learning curve and the things that you have to go through to just get things done. And it's like some things, because growth happens outside of your comfort zone. So you're trying to grow and you have to get out your comfort zone. You have to get out of what feels comfortable and cozy because no growth happens there. And so it'll be the scary things that you have to do, like maybe going and start a podcast or going to launch your first book or going to learn how to do something on YouTube or doing your Facebook Live or anything that you have to go ahead and do that might have been something that you've never done before. So it's coming up with all of these new experiences, all of these new things, and just being open to the fact that, okay, I have to trust the process. It might be scary, but you know what, God, you gave me the vision. You said this is the purpose. I know it. Help me get through it. Help me make sense of it. Help me to, comfort me. Give me the signs. Show me that okay, you make this work for me. And so sometimes that is the type of conversations we have because it's like, okay, I know it. Okay, you're not going to give me more than I can bear. How are we going to solve this? How are we going to make this work? And believe it or not, It works every time, and the solution comes, and or we figure it out, and then guess what? We grow in the process. And I have grown in the process of just doing those and trusting the process that okay, um, you could have never gotten me to show up live because hey, I didn't even like how I looked on camera. I didn't like how I looked in the mirror. So how am I going to show up live and talk to people? I didn't even like the sound of my own voice.
Yes.
And now 3 years later, I am talking up a storm on camera, like maybe about 3 or 4 times a week, just talking, definitely more than that. And I'm loving it. And I'm like, when I look back at where I was before, it was definitely about trusting the process, trusting the journey. Like these are the things that I needed to do to get that purpose, to fulfill that purpose, to get that vision of what God showed us, to make that happen. These are the things that we had to do. It was scary. It was challenging. It required a lot of self-work, but we made it happen. And I'm saying to you, all of you who are listening, whatever that is, that burning desire, that purpose, that passion, whatever you want to call it, that is driving you and that thing that you want to accomplish, and you feel like, oh no, I can't do it. I don't have the whatever enough, the skill, the know-how, then if you get it, sometimes people have it and they still feel that way. So start with what you have because you have it inside of you. Start with what you have and you can definitely do it.
Thank you so much. That is so great. And you made some great points and gave us some great strategies. And, one that I want to talk more about is that we have to invest. Um, we know that God can do all things, but when He gives us an opportunity, sometimes we do have to invest our time, we invest money. And if we don't have it, if we know that this is what God has given us, He's going to provide the way. He's going to give the provision because He is the provider. So we can't let that stop us. So we want to thank you, Linda, for the 5 strategies that you left us with. Knowing our purpose, we have to start with knowing our purpose. We have to ignore the distractions. And sometimes that's one of our biggest challenges that we may encounter, ignoring the distractions. We have to create a team. We pray about the process, and we get mentorship because as we're pouring into other people, we need to be poured into. So all these were great strategies that we want to thank you for sharing, coming on and sharing with us on today. Do you have any final words that you would like to share with our listeners before we get ready to close out?
Okay. So I remember a time back in college when so yeah, I went to Jamaica for college. This is for one of my first degrees. And so my roommate, I think, or dorm mate, and her boyfriend, and they would we'd kind of like hang out together, and in different companies and stuff like that. And one of the things that I would always say, or at least they reminded me that I would always say, was, "You can have it. You can have it." Right? And they would always say, "You're always saying that." When it was something someone needed, or something that needed to be done, or it was just something that, okay, it was like, oh, you can have it. Oh, you can have it. And that was something I apparently that I was saying so much. They're like, you're always saying that. You're always saying that you can have it. And I just want to leave those same words with our listeners today. You can have it. So no matter what it is that you want to do, and you feel impressed to do or called upon to do, and you feel like God is directing you to do, whether it's your purpose or something that you feel passionate about, I want to say you can have it. You can have it. If it's the relationship you want, it's the marriage you want, if it's the belief in love and finding that again, if you're single and just believing in yourself, you can have it. Okay, you can definitely have it. And I just want to share that with you. You can have it. So connect with us. I offer personal development coaching, and it's a Being You program for ladies where ladies can just be themselves. It's being me. You can go ahead and be you, learn how to love like you've never been hurt, love expecting and knowing that you can be loved in